So I've been looking for a like a tie rod end ball joint splitter. Rather than beating the crap out of this stuff or pounding down on these, I found this on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. This thing works kick-ass. Alright, so I had to bust these loose real quick. Let's go ahead and get these off of here. I do that socket I just had. So just back them off a little bit. I'd rather damage the nut than the threads, so just back them up to the top there. And then the tool will fit nicely right in. Start with this one here, so it just slides right on in there. Adjust this to grab that. Straighten these out a little bit, so it'll be like that. And then just get your 17. Just run it in like that. You'll hear a pop. It's loose. Saves you a whole heck of a lot of time. Same thing with this side. Straighten that out a little bit. Slide that down there. And then just run it in. Easy peasy. Doesn't even damage the boot. You can see how skinny that is, so that slides right in there. I've been looking for something like this for a while, and I haven't really found anything until now. So I'm stoked I got something, so now I can take these apart and just store them, rather than having a big old cluster of A-arms and spindle and caliper. So it just slides right off like so. I want to say it was like 20 bucks, somewhere around there. Like I said, I will include the link in the description. It also works on the tie rods. I already tried it out on one of them. It just pops them right loose. So you don't gotta beat on stuff and try to get it loose and potentially bend something, break something. If anything, smash the castle nut. Those you can buy anywhere. But so we are off. And then now I just have a bunch of parts. I got some new bins because the plastic ones I got are deteriorated. So that is that. Alright, let's get this thing running. Hopefully it all will go well. So, need to make sure I'm in neutral, so I need 2 lights on. Key. In neutral. Alright, let's get some fuel going in this thing. So she's all back together. She's running good. Go ahead and start her up. Nice and quiet. Gotta cut that zip tie off. I figured out what the problem was with the like bogging or the revving. So the last guy who had it, you guys come down under here and look. This is your gear indicator to tell you what gear it's in. So this was upside down. So it was basically flipped. The wire was coming off the bottom, going this way. So it was telling the bike it was in reverse and it was hitting the reverse rev limiter. I found that out because as I was riding it, first gear was fine. Idle was rough when he revved it up, and then every gear after that, it would just hit the rev limiter. This paint, it's just, I mean, as this bike's getting hot, this stuff is all gonna just peel off. I don't, not much I can do with that, so. I'm just gonna say by the time the end of next year comes, this bike will be back to silver. So I got to tighten up that a little bit too. So I'm just gonna go through, make sure all the odds and ends are taken care of. Needed a lot of stuff. Those brackets, I just had one of them. Screws, bolts, nuts, stuff like that. I-beams didn't work, had to splice the wire back together. Adjusted the chain. Had to put a swing arm nut on the other side. And we did rejet this at 160, I do believe. It's 160 or 165, I'll double check that. And we went ahead and deleted the airbox. So I had a K&N filter sitting here. So we went ahead and put that in there for him. And now he just has a K&N with a pre-filter on there. This was on another bike. I have no use for it. I will never use it. And then I did put this on there. That way he's not sucking in dirt right down from there. It'll be a little, you know, a little more indirect. So we're not filling that air filter up with just sand and dirt. So besides that, you know, need new bolts for the battery hold down, new clips all the way around. Other than that, it looks like it's doing all right. We did go ahead and eliminate the parking brake here. Looks like I must have touched it while it was wet. My fingerprint's in there. Hopefully nobody steals this bike and it comes back to me. But anyway, we are back to normal. I'm gonna wash it up tomorrow and I'll let him know that it's all ready to go next week sometime. I do have somebody coming to look at the other two bikes, the flip bikes, possibly for a double buy. We'll see. But as far as this goes, I'm gonna go ahead and put this airbox lid back on here. I left these on here, that way when he washes it, he can cover that up and not have to worry about water getting in there. So I usually use just the mother's metal polish and a pad for my drill. Let's get this cleaned up. Just put a little bit on here. A little bit more on there. Just gonna wipe it in. Just go to town. much nicer that looks? Easy peasy. Stuff works wonders, even when you just gotta buff out some headlights. Alright, we're gonna get this thing all cleaned up today. What the hell that is? Big old bug. Just needs a light wash, which should be good. Work on the plastics a little bit, make them a little bit nicer. All right, YouTubers, this was a subscriber's bike. It's all wrapped up, ready to go back to him. It came in, it was kind of just bouncing off like a rev limiter, it sounded like. And the valves were pretty chatty, the engine was pretty chatty, whether it be the valves, the timing chain. The timing chain was definitely stretched. The valves were definitely out of adjustment. I did send out the head to get machined. He dropped that off for me and picked it up. That was, cross town, so he did that. Did the timing chain guides. Valves, he cut the 45s on the valves and on the head and replaced the valve stem seals, and I replaced the water pump. His case is that typical aluminum magnesium. I guess years ago they had a recall on that for the bikes. I doubt you could be able to get that handled at this point, but got bit by something. Anyway, he's definitely gonna need a new case. If you see in the video, you'll see how pitted it is and corroded it is. But I got it all back together. Went ahead and deleted the parking brake up there. He did not have that hooked up because he did have the little block off plate there. So did have to replace the cap there, as that always seems to be my nemesis these days and stripping out. So anyway, we tightened up the chain, put another bolt in the caliper there because it came off on me while I was riding the bike, and it was missing one. The other one wasn't tight, but overall she's ready to go. I'll go ahead and start it up here and get a little listen. But we did go ahead and let me find this eliminate the earbox lid, and I had a K&N sitting around with a pre-filter, so I put that in there, and I did put this tube back on just so there's not as much dirt going directly into it, and it's kind of tucked up here under the seat, so that'll help. And I mean, being open, it's under the seat, so that'll help as well. I did leave these tabs on here, that way he can put the lid back on when he washes it and not have to worry about getting it soaked. But the seat, it is chunked out there and there. I just opted to not do it. I thought it was a lot worse than it actually was, so I told him if he wants me to do it, just bring the seat cover by. I'll charge him a little bit more to do it. But I know you can buy on eBay. Caltrac sells a whole seat for like $125, $150, somewhere around there. So I told him to look into that. But let's get this thing started up. So it's running good, nice and quiet.